Welcome friend, welcome! Thanks for joining me for another Smash Top 5. Take a seat, enjoy and relax. After tackling the NES and SNES, we are going to go one Nintendo home console gen higher to the Nintendo 64. My very first console that I plugged into the TV. I love the 64, always have. And it opened my eyes to the real potential of gaming, with worlds that I explored countless of times. In Banjo-Kazooie, Ocarina of Time, Mario 64, Pokemon Snap, Mission Impossible, Conquer, you name it. All great games, all great memories. So for you today, I will pick 5 fighters that would be an amazing character in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Often these characters had another game before they appeared on the 64, but as long as they had a title on this beautiful console, then it's all good. So if you have 5 favorite beings that appeared on the 64 that you would love to see in Smash, let me know in the comments too, as I'm really curious who you want to see. Oh, and as you probably know, I have made many of these lists before, and I don't like to repeat myself in these videos. So I probably won't go with the most obvious picks, as I talked about these guys before. That means that you can expect some more weird characters that would be great for Smash nonetheless. Okay, well, let's begin with number 5. And I want to begin with a character that I made a whole separate video about. And the reason why I made this video is because I miss him. He has been gone for many years and there is no end in sight for this absence. I'm talking about Gex the Gecko. Crystal Dynamics' old mascot that had some amazing games but just disappeared off the earth suddenly. I loved Gex. If you don't know him, he is a fourth wall-breaking gecko that is obsessed with movies. All the levels that you play are themed around a specific movie or just a whole genre of films, with many references in there which all link to specific moving pictures. My favorite game of this series was Gex Enter the Gecko. You know, like Enter the Dragon? Which of course was on the Nintendo 64. What made this game so special was the main man himself, Gex, with once again breaking the fourth wall all the time and referencing as many movies as he goes along. But he could be a dirty mouth as well, mentioning that he wants to put his extra long tongue in places and stuff like that.
Don't make me take my tongue out.
A really romantic guy. His moveset isn't really that crazy, but I still think it could be a really good fit for Smash nonetheless. He attacks enemies by spinning around and whipping them with his tail, plus he can gain some extra height by bouncing around on his tail as well. And that are mostly his attacks. Oh, and he can lick stuff of course, so that could be a great mechanic to implement too. But because our friend is such a movie buff, I think it would be cool to do some stuff with that for his specials. He always dressed the part for each different themed level, with him in a tuxedo and a gun to imitate James Bond, and his martial arts outfit for some kung fu action. Gex's last game was Deep Cover Gecko, which appeared in 1999, so it's about damn time that he would return. And I know it's a long shot, but I believe he would be great for Smash Ultimate.
I'm the ultimate weapon, baby, yeah!
And if you thought Gex was a stretch, wait till you hear about this one. I love The Legend of Zelda, always have. And 2 of my favorite entries are Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. Both, of course, Nintendo 64 classics. I talked about this before, but the Legend of Zelda representation in Smash is kinda meh. We have 3 Links, 2 Zeldas and 1 Ganondorf. And that from a series with such a rich story, creatures, friends, enemies and whatnot. I mean, it's the 3rd best-selling franchise of Nintendo, if you wouldn't count the Wii Sports games, which doesn't really have that many notable characters. Mario has great representation and so does Pokemon. Some people would even argue that there is too much for these 2, but Zelda not so much. So who would we pick? Well, this is based purely on my opinion and is something that will never happen. But I would love to see Darunia, the chief of the Gorons in Ocarina of Time. Look, we can keep on adding Links and Zeldas till we drop. But the Goron are one of the coolest races within Hyrule. They are big, strong, often very friendly, and they like to eat rocks. That's freaking hardcore. Darunia considers Link as his brother and is a good ruler for the Goron people. And even though he is big, muscular and handsome, he is a kind soul that loves to dance, especially to Saria's song. I was so happy when I found out you could play as him in Hyrule Warriors. And I almost never picked another character except for him, smashing everything to pieces with his big bulky hammer. That's just something that would work greatly for Smash. And I know DDD is also a big hammer boy, but the rest of the Runia's moveset could be very different. By taking inspiration from Goron Link's moveset in Majora's Mask, like a charge up rolling attack, ground pounding, and kicking ass with his huge fists. The Zelda lore is immense with so many characters to choose from, which Darunia is just an example of. They should really add some more, because sometimes weird is just the way to go. I have talked about the DK squad many times before. I think Donkey Kong is my favorite classic character in Smash. I love Diddy. King K is one of my favorite newcomers. I think Dixie should be included, and I would love to see Funky as an Echo as well. I can never get enough of these Kongs. So let's look at the Nintendo 64 and see if there are more additions from the monkey front that would be a suitable fit for Smash. And that means that we need to take a look at the Nintendo 64 game Donkey Kong 64, which was developed by Rare. In this game you can play as 5 members of the DK family, some of which we wouldn't see that often besides this game. And the one that I would love to see has no style and he has no grace. Lanky Kong. He's such a unique looking dude, and I always loved him as a kid, as he was the goofy oddball out of the group who had some sick attacks and movements, which would also contribute in making him a unique character for Smash. He has freaking long arms, which gives him a huge reach, with some helicopter-like punches, and handstands, which would be sick in Ultimate. He can inflate like a balloon, which will probably help him in some weird way. He shoots grapes, which can poke someone's eyes out, so that's very dangerous. And he plays the trombone, so he will probably be able to smack someone on the head with that thing too. I would love to see this goofy boy in. But you know, every other Kong would be fine with me too. Like Chunky or Tiny. There can never be enough DK representation in Smash. And I hope that with King K. Rool it was just the beginning for some more inclusion. And here is a real classic Nintendo 64 character for you. I talked about this guy before in my missing video game characters video, which was actually one of the very first vids I made, because just like Gex, this guy is missing as well. I'm talking about Glover, who is a hand, or well, more like a glove, as you can probably imagine. The game Glover wouldn't only appear on the Nintendo 64 with a release on Windows and the PlayStation as well, but it would be the only game that the titular character would ever star in. There were plans for a Glover 2, which was also pretty far in development, as you can still find some advertisements for that online. But that got eventually cancelled, after which the IP would never be picked up again. There have been some rumblings about a potential remake or reboot, but nothing really official has come out of that yet. But it shouldn't take away that Glover is a very unique, fun character, who would fit super well in Smash. Glover performs all actions by interacting with a ball. In every stage you have to get this ball from the beginning to the end of the level. And because of that, I believe it could be an important part of his moveset, if he would be added to Smash. He can run on the ball, smack it like a basketball, push it away, punch it, and much more. Throughout the game you will also gain the ability to change the material of the ball, which could be a perfect way to implement specials for our Glover boy, like a bowling ball, a small metal one, or a bouncy ball. At the same time, I think it could be really fun to see this guy punching and kicking, which would be kind of strange as he is just a glove. Glover is a classic and would make for something very unique that we haven't seen in Smash yet. So I definitely believe that he should get a chance one day. And let me end with a character that I once again really love. He's awesome, he hasn't had a game in way too long, and is also an absolute hunk. I'm talking about Earthworm Jim. A character that starred in multiple games on all kinds of different platforms. But one of the games that I played the most was Earthworm Jim 3D on the Nintendo 64. I love how he's supposed to be this regular worm, but just found this alien handsome buff suit, which made him transform into some kind of superhero. He's snarky and drops random funny lines all the time.
Here's Jimmy!
If they would put him in Smash, he could of course kick some serious ass with his buff body. But he can do much more than that. He doesn't shy away from using weapons like his regular pistol, or even a gun that shoots gnomes that run after the enemy and explode on impact. Crazy stuff! He can use his worm head as a whip as well, so there are plenty of options to develop a moveset out of him. But like I said, this was one of those popular characters back in the day that just disappeared off the radar. They wanted to do some more projects with this worm, but because of development problems and stuff like that, that didn't come to be. But compared to Gex or Glover, there is actually good news on the horizon. A brand new console is in the works for quite some time now, which is called the Intellivision Amico. And the team behind the original Earthworm Jim is developing a brand new game, which will be an exclusive to that console. I would have rather seen it appear on other consoles as well, but hey, at least more Jim is on the way. So why not pair that with an inclusion in Smash Ultimate? That would be the perfect comeback of this amazing hero that has been gone for way too long. So that's it. 5 characters that have one or multiple games on the 64 that would be great for Smash. And once again, like I said before, there are many more that would be great, and some of them are much more popular than the ones that I talked about today. But chances are that I have mentioned them before, like Conquer and Joanna Dark, which you can see with other potential newcomers in my top 5 for rare characters that could be great for Smash. So if I didn't put your favorite 64 fighter on the list, that's probably why. So that's why I would love for you to let me know who you want to see. Show me your Nintendo 64 character top 5 for Smash in the comments. And if you are still here, then you probably like Smash and also Nintendo. So why not subscribe to the channel for many more videos like this? You can find other Smash top 5s, discussion videos, and speculation about upcoming games. AKA a lot of fun stuff. And of course, much more is on the way. If you want to keep the fun going, you can join an amazing community on the XPref Discord, where we talk about Smash and all kinds of different good stuff every day. So hop on in, link is in the description. Leaving a like on this video if you enjoyed also really helps this small creator out. So be sure to do so. My friend, I want to thank you so much for watching, and I really hope to see you next time.